Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you a review slash final thoughts on the October 18th changes to Monster Legends. Now, if we don't remember, October 18th or 13th, I believe, was the date of which the whole, like a huge mechanic change in the game, the normal way of chain denying officially died. What I mean by that is pretty much the possession and freeze deny, the chainable deny, got the stun treatment. If you are frozen and or possessed, you are now got immunity to that deny, right? So I got the stun treatment. So now everyone is equal. So essentially, stun isn't like a laughing stock anymore. They're all equals. Whatever you deny with, you can't like bam freeze again. You can't do that. This meant a whole bunch of monsters gained and lost value. Today we're gonna go over I'd say 3 elements at a time. Today we're gonna go over fire, nature, and earth. As of the time of recording this video. I just want to say straight up the bat, mountain monsters got a huge benefit from this, this patch. However, the immunity to possession still isn't a thing yet. When it does become a thing, when you recently possess immunity, when that becomes a thing, mountain monsters are just gonna run rampant, and they're just gonna be really good. Because mountain monsters, for the most part, are pretty easy due to the fact you could chain possess them forever. Oh, I would also like to add, if you have, immunity to stun, you're also immune to mega stun. The same goes for freezing. If you're immune to freeze, you're immune to mega freeze. So again, this kind of hurts playability of certain monsters, but again, this just ups the value of mountain monsters. Like Oros, for example. You know how Oros was just kind of a laughing stock because he could just use brownies and mega stun him forever, and or bring a possess him forever, and he just really didn't do anything, like ever. Now you cannot bury him in the mud anymore. So that just adds value to not just mountain monsters, but a whole bunch of things in general. It upped and downed quite a few monsters' playability. So today we're going to talk about fire, nature, and earth. So for fire monsters in general weren't really affected too much by this patch because none of them were really deniers to begin with. The fire has always been a damage-heavy category. It's pretty caveman in terms of other stuff beyond damage. There's a few supports here and there, and the very rare deniers in the category. But in terms of the deniers, they aren't actually bothered by this. As of the time of recording this video, it seems like we're getting 2 new fire monsters. I have no idea what they actually do, so I'm not going to comment on them. What's this do? Self-anticipation. So it gets anticipation, and this guy gets immune to freeze, immune to stun. It's basically mountain. This guy basically has mountain. But in terms of, for the most part, in terms of the denies, the Inheritor and Viper Hotep, they usually just ran 1 deny anyway. Viper Hotep runs stun, and then the Inheritor has like 1 AoE possession skill. So they're not actually too bothered by this because they couldn't really chain deny to begin with. So it's, yeah. Yeah, in terms of fire monsters, in terms of the sense of deny, they're not bothered by it. However, in terms of being protected by it, they do hold a lot of value because the rank 5 Igursus exists here. Igursus, like I said, mountain monsters, bam, best monsters that get the most benefit out of this. Once the immune to possession is, actually a thing, like they recently possessed, Igursus is gonna just run rampant and destroy teams. Because what it will do turn 1 is Vepsivis. That's what it seems to go for constantly. That being said, you can't actually deny him anymore unless you go a step ahead and remove the recently possessed. But beyond that, if you do it the old way of just keep trying to chain possess him, that doesn't work anymore because you can't possess something that's been recently possessed if they have the immunity. You have to remove that positive effect first. I do believe Remiel, who is immune to stun and Megas. This doesn't matter too much because he was already immune to it. Uh, I guess he's not really affected by it too much either because he already had that to begin with. But no, I guess this is the main value here. Kayn also gets value with this change. Kayn, an insanely high damage dealer. We're gonna do a live stream here after this video actually. It's 8:28 right now, so at 9 we'll do a Rosebud stream, showcasing what Kayn can do. But Kayn, for the most part, pretty good damage, and he can't be chain denied anymore. Again, in the terms of the normal sense, this thing does have Abomination, so he's already immune to one of the chain deny to begin with, but he can't be chain frozen anymore, which is huge. Like, you can't just chain deny him anymore. You can again with the chain deny thing. What I mean by that is you just can't spam freeze. You have to freeze. And once they get recently frozen, you have to remove that protection and then freeze them again. I mean it like that. Chain denying can still exist, but you just have to work for it. This gets huge value. Huge value. So in terms of the aspect of not being denied for too long, Fire's got a huge buff in not being denied and left for dirt forever. Like various other categories in the game, fire types did get a nice little, protection there, and it's gonna be busted. Yeah, then they're gonna run rampant on defense. But that's pretty good. That's insanely good. Nature monsters. Oh, poor nature monsters. Since the new addition of not being able to do the same, deny over and over again in terms of a freezing and possession aspect, Lord Mind Sun and Silotus got hit hard. Like, things that relied on possession, or freeze for the most part got hit hard. So in terms of this specific category, in terms of nature monsters, Lord Mind Sun and Silotus got like hit with the Nerf hammer. Like, they got hit by the Thor God hammers, like thunder down and bam, devastated. Devastated. What else was there? But no, just the possession aspect got hit really hard. Oh, I also like to bring out that Predagilium. Oh god, that's a lot of words. Predagilium. This frozen beast monster here. Predagilium. The little words. This freeze monster. This monster excelled at freezing. He had nothing but free scales, but now since the change, this monster, in terms of a denier aspect, is just, it's kind of laughable, but it's still usable. Don't get me wrong, it's still usable because not only is he the only freezer in the category, and not many nature monsters are immune to freeze, which is pretty good. He's got the advantage there. All you have to do is really go a step further and remove the recently frozen, and you're good. I just mean in terms of just spamming free. I mean, like, you can't just spam freeze forever again. You can't just spam possession forever. Again, this hurts a lot of monsters' playability because you have to go an extra step further in order to make things work. Fatted. Fatted doesn't have any deny skills, but not being like chain denied forever is really, really nice. I will say, when he got the tough trait, that's the only downside to that change. Even though he's got a 35% chance of not getting hit by anything, and not having mountain was kind of sad. Now, since the change is a thing where you can't just be spam possessed or spam frozen anymore, possession, of which he doesn't even care anymore because Trader Eater now actually targets enemies, which is really good. So possessing Fatted is the worst thing you could ever do. Period. Possession doesn't even bother him, but you can't freeze him or stun him. Well, the stun wasn't changeable, but you can't freeze him forever. Again, unless you work with it. Unless you bring something that removes positive effects. Fatted gain huge value from this. I will say monsters that need to be chained down forever, or else they kind of pub stomp the game like Charmless, also kind of take huge advantage to this. So extra turn monsters got they can't be chained down forever. Again, unless you build around it. So that's just this. That's just that. Um, I will say, since the changes, War Master Zara, who doesn't really have any AoE control immunities, like she can't give AoE like freeze and or possession like Necromancer and Thesla has. Uh, this kind of helps, not be chained down forever. I mean, it keeps your sustainability somewhat relevant depending on the matchup. Oh, what else is there? I will say people may or may not be still tempted to put freezers on defense, so aka water monsters. So you might see less Shork action on offensive play. Maybe. It depends on how war is going. This looks terrifying. Dude, that thing, that thing, whatever this thing is, it looks terrifying. I can't even see the full image. Boy, that looks terrifying. 50% life shield. That looks terrible. That's nightmare fuel. that's just terrifying. We also got a new tank called Sergeant Hallhead. He'll like the change too, because again you can't chain deny him forever. Which is good, so that means you can't chain freeze him forever, which would be bad. But that's just one less thing that you can use to control him. Talika wasn't actually bothered by the deny change because you could never really chain stun to begin with, like normally. So it doesn't bother her. She's like, I'm still the same. I haven't changed. There is no change for me. Alrighty, Earth monsters. Oh, Earth monsters. My boy Brannis. Brannis. So basically, the people that got hurt in this book in particular were Baba Yaga and Brannis, in terms of the top of my head. Brannis, as you know, has the ability to single target Mega Stun a single person. This means he could shut down Oros or any other mountain monster with relative ease. It was actually pretty laughable. Because, well, I've especially brought it to an Oros matchup, because Oros could do nothing. Oros is garbage in the sight of Brannis. Now that's, that kind of changed. Because now you cannot Mega Stun mountain monsters. So that means if you brought a Goron, a Gursis, anything with the mountain trait, Oros, Montezuma, whatever have you, they aren't bothered by Brannis. Because of the change. They can't be Mega Stun anymore. They don't care about Branni's Mega Stun. They just don't. So this hurt Branni's in terms of a denier aspect. He's still really good in any other situation that they're not immune to Mega Stun naturally. So he's good against things that are immune to freeze or possession, because again, they're not immune to stun. So this gives you more options. I also like to add to the fact, actually, no Earth monster is actually bothered by Branni's, because I actually forgot for just a moment there that anything immune to stun is actually immune to Mega Stun. So, get Osteoclast, Deadwolf, Bastet. What else is there? Just can we just slap all these Earth monsters on the page here? Just anything immune to stun just doesn't give a crap anymore about Branni's. Like anything immune to stun, just it doesn't matter. You can't Mega Stun them. I forgot. I just forgot that for a tad moment. But yeah, anything immune to stun is actually immune to Mega Stun too. So that doesn't do him any justice. Baba Yaga got hit hard because you can't chain possess naturally anymore. So that's huge because all you had to do is AoE possess and then single possess the person that bothered you. So now she has to AoE possess and then go immediately for the AoE. Blind remove positive effect. She has to do that immediately, and there's a 50% chance you may still get hit. It just means you will. It just means that you have a chance to actually get hit now. You can't just let's say you're winning the fight and there's one monster left, and that's like a Bradagor or something, and for some reason he still hits you. That's you kind of lost because of the. That. So take that with whatever grain of salt you want. But that nerfed her gameplay pretty huge. I will say, in terms of mountain monsters, I think Montezuma gets the very, 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 very most value of this change. In terms of the mirror matchup, I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, never mind. Doesn't really matter. I forgot he had like a single target. Isn't it like single target two-turn possession? Isn't it like something gross like that? I think it is. But Montezuma's looking pretty good. Things that can total blind now, I will say total blind is looking pretty awesome because you can still spam that. There's not a recently blind immunity. So Balor's looking pretty awesome here. I think in terms of natural chain deny from now on, I think total blind's the go-to because like that's you can spam that. That's the only thing that I think didn't get hit when denied stuff came out with the effects. So Balor got huge value increase. Balor got immensely good, insanely good value because you can kind of chain total blind, which is awesome. Also things like Dungeon Master or Scrap Warrior looking pretty good again because they can total blind and you can spam total blind. So if you're in like a team with Scrap Warrior, Dungeon Master, and Balor, and the enemy doesn't really have a Elvira and or a monster with extra turn skills, you can kind of just, total blind them forever. It's just kind of laughable. You kind of destroy everything. Pretty cool. Anything else? In terms of Earth monsters, not really, no. Anything else that got hit here? No. Nothing in particular. All the Earth monsters got pretty much Mega Stun, like, not all of them, but, anything immune to stun is immune to Mega Stun, so a lot of Earth monsters are actually immune to stun, so like, a good majority of them now are just, Brawny's counters because Brawny can't do anything to them, so that's huge. Things that have spammable remove positive effects. I don't know if it's just the plain Hydratilla, but Hydratilla may just in general have an AoE skill that, like, the water one I do know has its skill called Area Unblessed, which is a spammable remove positive effects AoE. You might want to look into this. If you do have a Hydratilla, I hope you did change it to have that AoE skill. It's actually really good in this meta. Like, phenomenally good. You win kind of like, you kind of win in quite a bit of matchups, specifically the Cryotan and the Kihaku matchups, based on what you bring to those fights, because you kind of remove their grades. A lot of people now are running the Kai on Kihaku, and like, Cryotan's kind of a bother with that, those protection skills, and to have Area Unblessed is actually really good for those matchups. I've won in quite a few games since that small change in terms of that aspect. But Area Unblessed is looking pretty good. So if you have a Hydratilla in any of the Thunder, Water, or this Earth category right here, get Area Unblessed. It's really, really good. So yeah, that was the first three we went over. The next three we'll go over is Thunder, Water, and Dark. We got a lot of bit to talk about in one of those three. You guys could probably guess which one is that. So stay tuned for the next episode of my reviewed thoughts on my final thoughts on the October 18th, or the meta change, the huge change. I think it was the 18th or 13th. But you get my point, a huge change, and we're going to go over those in the next video. I'm Dib the Awesome. I'll catch you guys later.